Hey On The Clock fans, you're listening to another episode with your hosts Raul Lascano and George Martinez as they square off and tackle all of today's hot topics in sports news, trends, current issues happening locally and nationally, as well as highlighting some of our local student athletes across the Sunshine State. Now, welcome your hosts, Raul Lascano and George Martinez. You're on the clock.
Kobe Bryant! There it is!
That is as good as it gets right there.
One of the NBA's all-time greats.
And the Black Mamba strikes again.
Mamba mentality it's a way of life. It's not an attitude per se, but it's a way to live, which is just trying to get better every single day. It's not something where you live with like a bravado or anything like that. It's just the simplest form of just trying to get better at whatever it is that you're doing.
Yes! He's on fire! The Mamba!
The players like Kyrie Irving, players like Giannis, I mean, these are guys that are really working to strive to do that.
Oh, wow! Kyrie, the killer!
Antetokounmpo.
The league is in good hands.
And you see the improvements in their game from it. And that's all my mentality is. It's just trying to get better every single day.
Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players to play the game.
Hey, On The Clock fans, welcome to episode 28. Can't believe we got 28 already on the books, man. This is amazing, George. But we have a great agenda for you, packed show for you. First thing and foremost, we want to talk about Kobe Bryant. We're going to give him a special tribute here in the show. So we're celebrating his 43rd birthday. So special shout out to the GOAT, to the greatest player of the NBA's time. Also, we want to talk about a little bit about Earl Thomas, what's going on in Baltimore with him starting up more trouble again. We're going to talk about KC. KC has made a huge announcement. Kansas City Chiefs, no more war paint or head dressings of Native American descent. You can't bring them back into the stadium. Also, we're going to talk about the NBA bubble, man. There's a lot of things me and George have been seeing that we got to bring it up. We got to talk about these crazy points, these crazy games that we've been seeing. And after we do this tribute, man, George and I, we want to get into something that George close to George's heart, and that's the fantasy football draft. So don't go anywhere. You're on the clock. George, my guy, what's going up? How are you doing? How you been? How was your weekend, man?
Man, it was a phenomenal weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, Saturday had our first draft of 2020 for me personally.
Oh,
and I know we're going to dive into it here after the break, but it was awesome. Had two of them. I had one in the afternoon, and I had another one in the evening.
Totally let you down, man. I totally let you down with the one in the evening. I was supposed to cover the shift, and I passed out, but I have a great reason why I passed out.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a made-up excuse, man. I was literally slave driving the entire weekend. And if anybody's never done this, don't ever do it. But don't ever try to take a tree and try to get down to the roots and cut out the roots. It's back-breaking. It's hot outside. You could just stand out there and feel the humidity coming down my face. I started this project at about 9:15, 9:30 in the morning. I didn't get done until about 1:30, 1:45.
Damn.
Yeah, I lost 15 pounds just standing out there.
You look lighter.
I appreciate
You look lighter.
I want to say that it's the diet, man, but I think it was her keeping me out here for 15 hours trying to get this tree out of my yard so our satellite dish could work. It was and again, you would laugh, George. You would laugh if you saw how I was doing it. You would.
Oh, I can imagine Cuban style.
Oh yeah,
Cuban style, going at it like you're in the woods,
yes.
trying to save Rambo,
bro,
trying to save the deer, going through the trees, cutting it down. There's a fire
with
there.
A machete, and then I just kept upgrading the weaponry. I hit the wood with a machete, and I was like, man, screw this machete. Let me get this little hacksaw. Hacksaw's not working. Let me get an old-fashioned saw. Shoulders damaged, by the way. It's gone.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, but I got it done. I did get it done, so I apologize for the fantasy, but I'm assuming it went well, right? You got the players that you wanted?
Well, I'm going to dominate both these leagues. I'm going to dominate both these
calling
leagues.
It
was
now,
too
right?
easy. It was too easy.
But
it was too easy. So the first one, I got to tell you about it. Quick story here. So on Saturday, I get there. We go to Wing House. It is a staple of our draft. Okay.
The staple.
Kobe couldn't stop. Yeah, so we've been going there now for several years. COVID made it a little different, obviously, but we have a beer pitcher record that we aim to break every time we have a fantasy football draft.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to give you, there's usually the 10 of us that are in the league
okay,
and 2 extra ones. that come by just to hang out. Okay.
The 2 extras just want to. They don't want to compete. They just want to hang out.
They just want to hang out and drink beer.
Yeah,
that's what they're there
shit.
for.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's what they're there for.
Okay.
If I had to make you guess, how many pitchers of beer do you think 12 guys could go through in 5 hours?
I would say at least 6 to 7 pitchers. At least that's minimum. You guys probably top that though.
You're gonna be shocked.
Okay, what was it?
Our record in 6 hours is 40.
40 pitchers of beer? Bro, you're kidding me right now. Are you serious?
Yeah, and this was not this Saturday. This was last year.
Oh, God.
Last year, we started the draft. We started the draft every year at 1 o'clock. Every year we started at 1 o'clock. And this 40 pitcher night, I don't think we finished the draft.
Oh, my God.
I think we got to like the round 12 and decided to just auto pick the next group of guys. We all Ubered. Everybody Ubered home.
Good.
But we got our record the previous year was 35.
Right.
So we were on a mission that year to break it. Now this year,
35.
different situations. We didn't have 12. We didn't have our 2 extras. Just had our 10.
Oh my God.
But still, in the 5 hours we were there, we were over 25 pitchers.
Pitchers of beer?
Yes, that's correct.
Bro, that's crazy. You guys are animals. Did you eat at least? Did you have something to eat?
Oh yeah. No, we all
good.
eat. Yeah.
Good.
No, we all eat. But that's usually one of our things. But this year, because of COVID and everything, we had 2 guys that actually was not there. So this is 20-some pitchers, only 8 guys there. Because one, he's in the military, so he's currently outstationed somewhere out of state. And our other buddy, he's moved into North Carolina. He's been there for a couple of years now, so he's in North Carolina. So he's a Zoom guy. We used to phone him in.
Right.
But this year, I got fancy with it.
Okay.
So normally, for these drafts, there's a sheet of paper you put on the wall, and there's stickers, and you take the stickers off, and you put the stickers on the board, and that's how you do it.
Right.
And you always it's always a pain in the ass when you're doing this with someone on the phone, because you have to recite all these picks back to the person on the phone.
Right.
All right.
That's why the live draft is better sometimes, right?
Right. That's why that's why you want everybody there for the live draft. But anyways, So now we're in 2020. Zoom is here. Zoom has been created.
True. That's true.
So here's my setup. I got a laptop. I asked the owner, because the owner knows us from being there every single year. So he knows we're coming. He knows it's draft day for us. He's like, all right, the pitchers have got to be ready. Fill the kegs up. These guys are coming to take it down.
Right.
But anyhow, he lets me connect my computer to the TV screen.
Oh, that's
I put the draft board on the TV screen.
That's
okay.
dope.
Brought my camera, had the camera propped it up so the 2 dudes that were on Zoom can see the whole table. We can hear them. He can hear us. The board is on the TV. So it was a phenomenal setup.
Oh, that's
It was
dope.
a great time. We were there for about 5, 6, 7 hours. Probably left about 7 o'clock at night. But it was a great day. It was a great day.
That sounds dope, man. That sounds way better than cutting roots of a tree
Oh, it definitely
out
does.
the freaking ground.
Yeah,
for 7
I did the American thing. You did the Cuban thing on Saturday.
I really did, man. And listen, man, I took a shower and I passed out. If anybody's called me over the weekend, I apologize. I did not.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm one of them. You're supposed to do the draft on the second half of the day,
Bro.
and you left me. But luckily, your boy was there. I did it on the phone. I was watching kids. Cooking food, and drafting all at the same time.
I was
proud of myself.
Truly out, like gone, like a monk, the sleepitis just jumped on my back. I was gone.
You know who else is talking about people being gone?
Oh,
and
yeah.
knocked out.
Yeah,
Your boy Earl Thomas
gone.
is getting cut.
And again,
He is his time
do you think
with the
he should?
Ravens.
You think he should have got cut?
I think there's a very petty. I think the Ravens were looking for a reason to cut him,
I think so too.
and the slightest thing he did, they chose to cut him because he got cut for getting in a fight with a teammate.
Yeah,
It is training camp. That is something that happens. If it doesn't happen, you're pissed off as an NFL staff.
right. And you remember, I guess earlier in the year, him and his brother, I guess he got caught by his baby mama or whoever it was, his girlfriend, wife, whatever.
Oh yeah,
They got caught in a hotel room, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing a little something.
that was strike 1 and 2.
Right,
This
but
is strike
I think
three. He's done.
the Ravens couldn't get him So I think that's why they couldn't cut him. But an altercation that happens on a football field, I mean,
Daily.
yeah, like that happens especially when you haven't been in pads for a long time. I'm expecting people to fight in freaking high school level at some point. And again,
Oh yeah.
people are going to sound, oh, that's I don't condone that. I'm not condoning fighting. I'm just saying that crap happens, and you know, you don't really, you try to correct the situation, especially if it's a child, but that stuff happens all the time. How many times have we seen clips of training camps when two different teams compete against? You remember? Oh, I'll tell you a good one.
Yeah.
You remember when D'Angelo Hall tore his ACL?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, man. Do you remember that? Like, they were beefing and talking trash. Like, it's going to happen. So I think I don't know if he wanted out or whatever, but they said he's detrimental to the locker room, so they got rid of him, man. He's out of there.
All right, so who's a favorite now to either trade for him? Because right now they haven't released him yet. I think right now they're going to try to trade him to get something in return.
They got to.
Before they just cut him loose.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think comes and gets Earl Thomas? I mean, I know that there's an overwhelming favorite of who Earl Thomas wants to go to.
Of course. He's been wanting to go there for a while.
Yeah, and that's our Cowboys here.
Yeah, that's the Cowboys. He's been wanting to go. Remember when he walked into the locker room? Remember
he put his arm around Jason Garrett after I think didn't the Cowboys beat
the Seahawks?
Seattle that game?
Yeah, they beat them.
They beat them that game. Earl Thomas goes running down
right
as the Cowboys players are going. They're in line going to the locker room. Puts his arm around Jason Garrett. Tell him, "Come get me, come get me."
Right, and he wanted to be there for a long time. So I know they're the favorites. I will laugh if he ends up in Tampa, because if I'm him, and the best team setup was either Baltimore.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, it was either Baltimore. I don't see Andy Reid going to go get.
They don't need him.
They don't need any part. He's already got his thing. They don't need nobody tampering with what they got going on. Everybody's bought in. That's a system.
Yeah, you got Eric Berry over there.
Right, you're going to be fine. But I do see teams that are set up for success: Saints, Bucks, Cowboys. Well, I can't even say success for the Cowboys. It just Cowboys will take anybody. So
there's a team. There's a team wants to go to.
Yeah, Jerry take anybody.
Here's a dark horse.
Okay.
And I do have sources that I've heard this from. 3 people that are known well in the industry have told me this. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And our podcast has been able to predict the future.
It does, man. A lot of people don't. A lot of people listen to the show. They really do. But a lot of people, I don't think, go to the bookie on us, and they need to start.
I don't think so, and they should.
They should. We've been predicting some stuff that goes on before First Take and Undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Pat McAfee and all these guys. We're right there with them without the sources that they have. But go ahead.
Without the sources, right?
Yeah. Who's a dark horse?
49ers. The 49ers.
Wow. Throw that into the mix. That's another good one.
I'm gonna say John Lynch trades. It's a John Lynch 49er move. You trade a 6th-round pick.
You can get them cheap. 1 year for $3 million, $4 million. You can get them cheap.
That's it.
Yeah. Why not? That's a good one. That's a real good one. So hopefully he does, man. Hopefully he lands there. Speaking of KC, you heard what happened with Kansas City Chiefs over there at the the banning of no more
2020. Yeah. 2020 strikes again, man.
Yeah, it does, man. They cannot be proud to be. Now this one I don't agree with. I don't agree with banning this one, and I'll tell you why. Kansas City Chiefs, all right, Chiefs is honoring the ranking system within the Native Americans, if that makes sense to you. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, the United States Air Force is going to have to ban Chief. Think about that. The highest rank you can make in the United States Air Force as an enlisted personnel is Chief Master Sergeant, is what they call them. E9. Those guys, by the way, side note, if anybody's trying to strive for this, those guys make about $4,000 a check.
Damn.
$4,000, yeah, twice a month, buddy. Okay? And then that's not on top of the per diem and all the other stuff they get of incentives and being a chief that's in charge of a base. Like, those guys get buku dollars, man. We're talking like maybe $7,000-8,000 a check. It's ridiculous. They get buku paid. I've never seen a chief drive a truck, okay? I've seen all the chiefs freaking have Mercedes Beamers and 4 other cars and all kinds of stuff, man. But anyhow.
They're not pulling up in the Kia Sonata?
No.
Or the F-150s?
No. And if they are, they're totally lying. They're totally lying. Then they have a crappy car because they got a 7-bedroom house. But no, man. This one I don't agree with just because it's honoring the system within the Native Americans. I know what they're trying to do, and I'm not sitting there. I don't want anybody to think I'm insensitive of what's going on. I get what they're saying. I know what happened with the Washington football team. I get that, but it's not the same in my mind. You know what I mean? Because then you're gonna have to take out the Warriors, take out the Golden State Warriors. Kansas City Chiefs is a ranking system. It's showing honor. Wearing the headdress of a chief in Native American, I think, will show more honor than it would disrespect. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not insensitive to want to hear other people's opinions. But what do you think, man? You think the war? I think the war paint. I don't know. I think the war paint's fine, but they ban that as well. You can't have the war paint or the headdressing now.
Yeah, I'm against that. I don't think there's an issue with it at all. So is the next question, does Florida State need to change their name?
And that's what's
Are
going
they not allowed to be the Seminoles? Is that next?
You know what? You're playing around, but they might take out that whole ritual where they run onto the stadium and throw the spear to the ground.
The horse in the middle and the spear.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate FSU, so change your name. Change your name to the.
It would be the
Florida State. The Florida State sucks. The FSS.
Just make it the Florida State football team. Just make it the Florida State football team.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right.
Washington.
Oh my God, you're right. They can't have any of that stuff. But I don't know, man. If anybody wants to challenge it or just inbox us, email us, ontheclock20@gmail.com. Tell me your thoughts, man, because me and George would love to hear what you guys would think about this one. I think this one is a little far fetched. I think you should allow the war paint because I mean, I don't know, man. I would think they would honor them. You know what I mean? But speaking of trying to honor the game or a game, okay, I want to switch gears here a little bit. This NBA bubble is out of control. I want to tell you that right now.
Oh, boy.
There's no honor in this game.
You are an NBA hater.
I'm not a hater, but you can't tell me that. I mean, you're 50 points away from 200. You realize that, right? So, fans, this is what we're talking about on the Clock Radio. I witnessed the Raptors play the Brooklyn Nets yesterday, and when I saw the final score was 150-122, there's no doubt in my mind these guys are just trying to get out of here. There's no way that, and as great as they can be, I've never seen 150 points in a game that wasn't the All-Star game. You honestly just got to let anybody just shoot and get to the hole and do what you got to do. And we're done with the bubble. Let's get out of here, Brooklyn. Time to go home. You know what I mean? Like, there's no kind of challenge. And the Raptors are a good team. They're a really good team. They swept them. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fourth final game. But show me something, man. These scores around the league are out of control, bro. The only one I saw that was remotely kind of, I guess okay was 98. I think it was, God, I can't remember the team now. Can't remember the scores or what it was. I think it was was it the Nuggets? Jazz? No, it wasn't Nuggets and Jazz. George, who played on Saturday? I think it was Saturday's game or Sunday's game. I can't remember. Somebody had like 98 the score was like 98 to something, man. I don't know if you remember that. There?
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Are you sure?
I mean, it was 98-111, 96-111.
I thought I saw like 97.
I'm trying to pull the score.
Yeah, I thought it was like 97. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah, maybe I'm tripping here. But then, look, here, I'll give you another one, right? Mavericks went into overtime, 135-133. I can understand that. But again, that's still pretty freaking high. You know what I'm saying? Celtics, 110-106. Okay, that's pretty normal. 150-122. Like, that's
a lot.
That's a hell of a lot, man. The Heat,
yeah,
and I love the Heat. I love the Heat winning. We beat the Pacers. We're 3-0 leading this series, but we scored 124. Like, bro, everybody's a leading scorer now. Like, get out of here. Like, look at these scores. There's no 98-97. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's playing so well.
So listen. So I have to tell you this.
Okay.
I have to tell you this, and I'm going to break your heart. Welcome to modern day basketball.
Scores weren't like this last year.
Listen, yes, they were.
No way.
The 90s game averages are from like 5 years ago.
bro.
If you score 100 points a game,
Yeah.
okay, you're in like the bottom 20 of the league.
Jesus Christ. It just doesn't seem like anybody's playing defense. Like, as I'm watching the game, shots aren't contested.
Well,
They're playing 6 feet COVID rules here. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't look like they're really trying to, you know what I'm saying? Let me take this foul. They're just getting out the way as they drive to the lane.
Well, in that same game. So, I mean, another fun stat.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the Brooklyn Raptors game,
yeah,
how many threes would you say was attempted?
It seemed like 50 from each team.
Yeah, that's exactly it. 50 threes were attempted.
Bro, I totally guessed that. I totally guessed that.
Brooklyn went 19 for 50. Okay.
What the hell?
The Raptors went 22 of 47. So there is no fouls in the paint if people don't even go into the paint anymore.
Jesus. It was when I'm watching the game, bro, it was literally, even when they're taking these shots, like the guy's, he's in front of him and he's like, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Shoot the J. Shoot the J.
Shoot it. You're good.
Oh, God, you missed that. It was wide open. What a jerk. I don't see a lot of guys jumping or whatever. Nothing.
Now, I do think Brooklyn was trying to go home. They're 3-0. They're like, listen, we've been in this bubble for a while. Yep. You know, you start thinking about these guys want to go back and see their wives, their kids. And like, listen, can we get on the first plane out of here? Like, we got a plane to catch. Yeah, Raptors. What's the over under? It's minus 14.
Right.
All right, we're gonna let you hit the over under, but we got to make sure you catch our plane.
Right. And that's what they're doing.
Can a couple of guys score some threes?
They were, and
now
Brooklyn's probably all week been like, God, hurry the series up.
I know. Can we get done?
Come on, bro. Get out of here. We get Kyrie and freaking Durant back next year. Let's get out of here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think they look good next year. Now you get a Kyrie and Kevin Durant. We got to see what happens here. So on this show, I know you went on the plank, and you were talking about the Lakers losing to the Trailblazers in the first round.
Yes,
I got another conspiracy theory to give you here as we move forward in the playoffs.
I love it. What is it?
I don't think the Lakers lose to Portland.
Okay.
As much as I think the Mavericks beat the Clippers, so they're tied 2-2 right now. We saw. Yeah. We're working into Luka's game-winning shot from the 3-point line.
Phenomenal.
Nonetheless, they're like down by 1 instead of taking it to the hole and get their free throw. Right, and cause the foul, get the free throw. No. Let's just shoot a 3 and end it.
I'm going to crush these dudes' hearts.
But can you imagine in the Western Conference Finals, you get Luka and Porzingis matched up against AD and LeBron?
I don't know, man. That's going to be I'm speaking on it. Speaking of your boys, right? Because you got a great theory there. Watching this kid play with a bum ankle is just amazing to me, man. It really is. He's doing everything he can for this. How many points did he drop on the overtime? Was it 43 points? 47. Oh my God. He's killing it. He's doing everything he can. 17 rebounds, like 13 assists. He's killing it. He's the first player. He's the first player. Another fun stat. He's the youngest player to record a triple-double. Okay. But score 40 points while doing it. Normally, triple-double guys, and you think about the first guy that came to my mind was Russell Westbrook. Yeah. Because I feel like that guy's a triple-double machine. And he never scored 40 and got a triple-double in a playoff game. Right. Luke is the first to score 40 and record a triple-double in a playoff game. And he's playing on a different atmosphere right now, which I'll turn the question to you. Do you think he's in the top 5 freaking athletes or NBA players right now? Is he in the top 5 right now? Is he making his way up there? I think right now Luka is knocking the door down, right, and saying, "I'm not even saying top 5. I'm saying he's top 3." Really, players right now. Because the big thing I want to talk, like if he beats Kawhi though, if he beats Kawhi's team to me, that's amazing status because the guy that's been killing LeBron, you know what I'm saying, even when he was in San Antonio, has been Kawhi. He's been neutralizing him when LeBron was playing with the Heat. You know, we did get him that 1 year with Ray Allen shooting a three, but
yeah,
I know that's
bail out.
We got bailed out, but the following year, he which led to LeBron leaving, they dominated the crap out of Miami, and he killed us, and he won the championship, became MVP there, and then he won MVP with the Raptors. I was looking forward to seeing Kawhi Leonard win his third one because if he wins a third MVP in a finals and wins the finals, now it becomes is Kawhi the best player
with a different team,
with three different teams. Mm-hmm. If he plays and wins three different championships, he's in that LeBron talk. And how can you defend LeBron saying he's the GOAT when you got this guy who's won three championships? He's been 3 times MVP. He did the same thing that LeBron did. He was on 3 separate teams, you know what I'm saying, or 2 separate teams, right? Because he won with Miami and he won with Cleveland. So if LeBron was to try to win with the Lakers, but if Kawhi does it first, do you bump Kawhi up as number 1, LeBron number 2?
I don't know. I don't think that becomes an issue at all because A, I think they lose to the Mavericks. 2, I think Paul George is holding Kawhi back. Yep. I mean, we saw in the game yesterday, there was too many times that Paul George was trying to do too much.
Yep.
And Kawhi was just playing second fiddle.
I agree. And he had times where Kawhi was wide open, kick it back out type stuff, or he's taking too much he's dribbling way too damn. Work the damn ball. And
you want to hear
that goes back to a conspiracy theory that NBA's rigged, right? When you see stuff like this, you're like, get out of here, man! God damn, you know.
Well,
but
I'm gonna give you another conspiracy theory.
Oh, I love these. Let's go.
I think Paul George is overrated as a defender.
As a defender,
he's always been put on a pedestal about being a top elite defender.
Yeah.
Luka made him look silly the entire night.
Luka, how old is Luka? 24, 25?
He's a youngin.
Yeah, he's gonna be freaking dangerous.
And to think, do you know who Luka got drafted by? And traded for?
Who?
So I'm gonna take you back a couple of years. Luka was drafted originally by the Atlanta Hawks, 3rd overall.
That's right.
And was traded to the Mavericks for Trae Young.
Sure. I know Atlanta's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Trae Young is
and he's still doing good. Yeah, he's still being successful.
A dude also. But yeah. I definitely think the Mavericks got the better end of this. And do you remember who LeBron's nemesis was that cost him an NBA championship when he was with your Miami Heat? It was the Dallas Mavericks.
Good old Dirk. Good old Dirk was killing us.
Can you imagine if Mavericks come back around? There you go, like the Buffalo Bills. They're circling the wagon.
They're playing good ball,
and they end up matched up. Oh, man. And we talked about this on our podcast before. It's about a team getting hot.
It is.
In the playoffs.
It is.
And right now, besides the Suns, who are not in it because they went 8-0, they went undefeated in the bubble.
I know.
The Trailblazers, which, I'm going to tell you right now. Mark it August 24th. You heard it here. It's going to be said that if the Lakers win the series against Portland, when they win the series against Portland, it'll be because Damian Lillard dislocated his index finger.
Could be.
That'll be the reason. That'll be the reason why.
And you know what? Speaking of reasoning, if the Lakers do not win a championship, I feel bad for AD, who will get all the criticism of why they did not win. He'll get all the blame because that's generally what happens when you play with LeBron. If you do great, it's LeBron. If you do bad, it was because everybody else. Right. So, like, for instance, for you and me, I think we've agreed on this before, and I'll bring it back up. Who is the greatest teammate that LeBron has ever had and in his career? from Cleveland the first time. I hate to say.
Yeah, it's an easy choice.
Cleveland, right? It's Cleveland, and then Miami back to Cleveland, and now the Lakers. Who has been his greatest teammate? And we both agreed, Dwayne Wade.
Yeah,
Dwayne Wade.
Hands down.
It really showed him, because Miami is and still is Dwayne Wade's team. It forever will be. For him to take back that role, introduce this young kid. Come on, let's do this, and the dynamics, which I mean, that's even debatable if that's the best duo in basketball history. Okay, because those 4 years, they gave some great freaking highlights. I mean, no look alley-oops. Oh my God. Transitions from full court, half. I mean, oh my goodness. It was amazing. But
now you remember Dwayne Wade and LeBron James got drafted the same year.
oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So when you mention about, Dwayne Wade was, bringing the young guy along, they're the same age.
Well, I'll tell you this.
But now,
I think mentally Dwayne Wade was more mature than he was.
Yeah. Because I think the years he had Shaq matured him.
It did.
Matured him beyond his years.
Yeah.
Now, the biggest difference in all that, why Dwayne Wade has been the best teammate to LeBron James, it's beyond the alley-oops and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Think about this. Think about this here for a second. At Cleveland, even when he went back to Cleveland with Kyrie Irving, it was still LeBron's team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
In LA, even with Anthony Davis, it's still LeBron's team. In Miami, it was Dwayne Wade's team
Absolutely.
and then LeBron.
Absolutely.
So that's the biggest reason. Dwayne Wade had the platform and the athletic ability to withstand any backlash because it was his team, his city. These are the spots. Kyrie got crap because it's Cleveland. It's Akron is where LeBron's from.
Right.
It's his hometown. Now it's LA, but I mean, LeBron James is the guy that replaced Kobe.
Yeah, you're just visiting. Yeah.
Right. Anybody else is just visiting there. So AD coming there, he's the Kyrie of Cleveland.
He is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, I think AD's in a bad situation.
He is. If they
Anyone
lose,
that plays with LeBron is in a bad situation because if you win, like you said, LeBron's the greatest. He carried the team on his shoulders. But if they lose, it's the supporting cast couldn't help.
It was everybody
and now
else.
AD gets dumped into a supporting cast role.
Do you think he knew what he had to know what he's getting into?
He had to know for it.
know
I
what
mean,
you're
the
getting
guy
into when
went
you
from
play
being the guy right before he got traded, before he signed his deal over with the Lakers. I mean, I don't think it doesn't end well for AD no matter what. Now,
I don't either.
Back to your point, AD played 41 minutes. Guy almost played all 48 minutes.
For a big man, that's a lot.
In the win against Portland, right? And LeBron only played 34. So, right now, LeBron can't win it without AD, but AD will never get the recognition for doing what he's done.
No, he never will. And I'm telling you right now, try to go through the West, playing 41 minutes as a 6'10", 6'11", big man.
It's gonna take a toll on your body, man.
Good luck. You are not built like LeBron, so we're gonna see how your young athleticism can get you there because it's not. I don't think it's gonna be ending very well. So we'll see how that ends up, man. But George, I want to talk to you, man. Of course, Kobe Bryant's birthday, his 43rd birthday, just recently passed, man. And I kind of wanted to open the floor up a little bit because On the Clock Radio wasn't established when Kobe and his beautiful daughter Gigi were, taken from us in that helicopter crash, man. So I want to just put it out there, man. Do you have a favorite Kobe Bryant moment that you can remember?
Man, there's a ton of them between playoff clinching shots, the time that he pulled Shaq aside and told him he got him early on in his career to come back and win a game. For me, I'm going to go with his last game, man.
Yeah. His
last game, he played 42 minutes. They were playing against the Jazz. They were down early. He struggled early. I think started like 0 for first 8 shots he took and ended up scoring 60 plus in that game. I think it was 61 was his final tally there. And it was vintage Mamba hit his elbow 2-point shot.
Yeah, man.
To take the lead, and then free throws to ice it, man. That for me, I watched it live as it was going down, and I've always talked about, in today's era, everybody talks about LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron. For me, the closest thing to MJ was Kobe.
Absolutely.
From the fadeaways to how they prepare for the game, to how they played the game, and conducted themselves on and off the court. Kobe for me is as good as Michael was, in my book at least. What about you?
No, I totally agree with that statement, man. It's always been in my book, Michael 1, Kobe 2, LeBron 3. It's always been that way. It's not going to change, not because of him passing. I've always had him that way. There's been so many memories, so it's hard to just sit there and say, okay, this was the best one ever. But one of the memories that I remember watching Kobe, which freaking was just amazing, he did amazing things, was he's playing the 76ers, right? And I believe it was Brian Shaw's at the top of the key, and he's got the ball. Iverson's covering Kobe, and Iverson made the mistake of letting Kobe get behind him. And Brian Shaw throws this alley-oop to Kobe, man. And Kobe grabs it and reverse dunks it with one hand. And I'm talking about, it was so, if anybody that's a Kobe fan remembers this freaking twist dunk, and then him just standing there looking at people like, yeah, you can't cover me. It was just the embodiment of what he stood for, his Mamba mentality, all that stuff, man. So it was that's one of the memories that sticks out of my mind every single time I think of Kobe Bryant, just because just throw me the ball, I'll take care of the rest type stuff, man. And it was amazing to watch him play, and I was looking forward to seeing the next adventure of Kobe Bryant, because he recently, I don't know if you remember, he won the Academy Award for animated series, short animated series, and that he created, and it was amazing that he was going to start a whole nother path career, and he had the Mamba Academy as well. So it was amazing to see where they was going to go. And Gigi, of course, her life being taken so short from us, because we didn't know where she was going to go as well. That's probably the most hurtful thing too. But rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Gigi. And for you On the Clock fans, just like we said, we have a clip here that's going to be 2 minutes and 24 seconds. I think that's the only way we can truly honor a legend in the game and his beautiful daughter that him and Vanessa created. So rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Gigi, man.
Rest in peace.
Breaking news, very sad news to tell the sports world. The LA Times is reporting that retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed in a helicopter crash.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
I see you again.
We've come a long way,
yeah, we came a long way
from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
I'll tell you.
When I see you again.
Kobe Bryant has hit a shot at the buzzer. Has to put it up with the buzzer. Thanks it in. He thanks in the three. 81-point game.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling strong, and what's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brother will come first, and the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own, and that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach, so remember me when I'm gone. My family, with family's all that we got. Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last.
My family, to my family, my wife Vanessa, our daughters Natalia and Gianna, thank you guys for all your sacrifice. For all the hours I spent in the gym working and training. And Vanessa, you holding down the family the way that you have. I can't, there's no way that I can thank you enough for that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what can I say? Mamba out.
Yep, that's an emotional tribute there, man. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, and his beautiful soul, his beautiful daughter, Gigi, man. But like we said, man, coming back from the tribute, George, man, tell me about your fantasy football here, man. I know you mentioned it earlier in the podcast that you had went to Wing House. You had a great time. But let's give some of the fans what they should be looking for in fantasy football, right? I've been playing it for years. You're actually like a guru, which I've been telling people you got to bet on George when it comes to these things. But what are some of the picks that you might have picked? Because I'm going to tell you now, I'm probably going to piggyback off you and try to make some picks here. And we got to be careful what we say because Sports Caffeine is listening. And
for sure.
Yeah, we're doing a FanstreamSports.com freaking fantasy football league along with our own fantasy football league that we're doing. So we got to be careful here because, Courtney and Grizz and Chevy and all those guys are listening. So we got to be careful. But what do you got, George? What do you think guys should be keying in on?
All right. So first thing we're going to start off with is the most important position on a fantasy football roster. Now, unlike the NFL,
that would be the defense,
it's not
right?
the quarterback.
That's the defense.
Yes,
right?
the defense. Raul, for you, any league that we are playing against each other in, defense kickers win leagues.
Go pick those guys.
Yeah, go pick those guys first. But running backs are scarce out there in fantasy land because there's few that are dominant. Most are running back by committee, or there's multiple guys that touch the ball. There's not a clear guy that carries a load 25 times, or you got a lot of teams that are passing heavy and they don't really run the ball a whole lot, even though they may have a legit.
Is that because the game has shifted, right? It used to be the guy used to carry the ball 25 times a load, but now the game shifted to RPOs and they're not really. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah,
scat backs are pretty much in now.
Pretty much. So I'm gonna give you my top 10 here.
Oh yeah.
For running backs.
Let me write this down. Go ahead.
Now there's a clear break. To me, there's top 6.
Right.
And then there's a group of everybody else that I'm gonna rank as well. All right. So the top 6 for me, running backs, number 1 overall, my guy, CMC, Christian McCaffrey. He's by far top running back. I think he's a top overall player. I think if you have the first pick, you're definitely taking him.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley 2, Ezekiel Elliott 3. Okay, you got Derrick Henry 4, Alvin Kamara 5, and Dalvin Cook 6. To me, those are, at least from a workload perspective, which again, when you're drafting fantasy running backs, that's what you're looking for is a workload. Are they going to get the touches? Are they involved heavily in their team's offense? All those guys touch the ball at least 25 times a game in different capacities, some as receivers, some as running backs, some as both, but you're going to get that consistently. Now, 6 through 10 here is where, again, this is why it's important you draft one of these 6 guys early. 7, Joe Mixon over there in Cincinnati. You figure now with Joe Burrow being there, he's probably has a little more help now. Joe's a little better of a quarterback. They got some receivers out there to help AJ Green.
True.
And Joe Mixon should be in the mix, especially as a dump off guy for Joe Burrow early on in his rookie year.
That's true.
Nick Chubb came on the stage last year a little bit for fantasy owners. He was one of the guys drafted later in the year. He surprised a lot of people. Surprisingly enough, Kareem Hunt didn't eat into his carries and his touches. So I have Nick Chubb as 8. To me, these 2 guys are the 2 guys that are my next up after the first 6 that I mentioned. Josh Jacobs over at the Raiders. He's a 25-touch guy. John Green likes to run the ball. He has Mariota, Derek Carr. Who knows who's going to hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs. But what we do know, someone will hand the ball to Josh Jacobs a lot.
Right.
And then the first rookie climbs in here to the top 10.
I have him
at number 10.
Wow.
At the top 10, only because of who he plays for. He plays for KC in that offense. There with Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Wow.
Okay, from LSU.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I have him. He's amazing. I think he was a steal for the Chiefs there in the first round to end the first round. Them
Absolutely.
picking the LSU running back there, got him for 5 years on a rookie deal. I think that's important as they continue to manage the salary cap with $71 left in their salary cap.
Right.
As a side note.
Right.
Next up, we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to dive into the receivers a little bit. Now, to me, after running backs, receivers is where you win your leagues because typically receivers are your deepest positions in fantasy football. Most leagues start 2 plus 2 running backs and you have a flex. But receivers, again, you have 30 of these guys that are viable. We're going to talk specifically about the top 10, and you're going to be shocked here at this top 10 because there are 2 Buccaneers in my top 10. Shocker.
Oh, shocker.
Shocker.
Shocker. Right. And let me ask you this real quick before you dive into that. Because you're saying basically as a first round pick in the draft for fantasy football, you would recommend taking a running back over the receivers?
Absolutely.
Or a quarterback? Really?
Yeah, because there's so many receivers that you can still get a good second, third receiver in the later rounds. There's not really a whole lot of running backs after the top 10.
So
after the top 10, you're dealing with guys that are in timeshares, that injury prone, that are in offenses that don't really cater to running backs and really unsure.
Because I don't know, man. Maybe this is why I don't win them very often. If I got a chance to take Patrick Mahomes, I'm going Mahomes. I got to steal him for the first. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, or Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson. Like, I got to take one of those guys.
Those 2 guys are the clear-cut top quarterbacks.
Right.
But the point differential between a Patrick Mahomes and a Lamar Jackson in that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th quarterback is 1 to 3 points.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter.
It's not. Now, Lamar Jackson is, to me, fantasy football-wise,
right,
a better bet than Patrick Mahomes.
Who?
Because Lamar Jackson.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I thought
I would take Lamar before Mahomes simply because Lamar runs the ball a ton.
Yeah, and he'll get you more points.
Lamar gets you 60, 70 yards rushing on scramble. Plus, he'll throw for 250, throw a touchdown, run for a touchdown. And in most leagues, they only award 4 points for a passing touchdown, 6 for a rushing touchdown. So think about a guy like Lamar Jackson. He may rush you for 2 touchdowns in a game, not throw for any, but still come out better than a Mahomes who throws 3 touchdowns because think about it. Mahomes throws 3 touchdown passes at 4 points apiece. That's 12 points. That's a great day for Mahomes. Right? Lamar Jackson comes out there, throws 1, runs for 2. Right? He's now got 16 points.
Yeah.
Edge Lamar Jackson there because of the running ability there.
That makes sense. So go I didn't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead with the receivers.
You're good. Diving back to our receivers here a little bit. The guy who's unguardable, runs slants better than anyone in football. Michael Thomas, number 1 overall.
Yep.
Okay. Devontae Adams, number 2.
Nice.
And I'm going to get some debate about that. I want to hear the fans talk about number 2 receivers here because a lot of people want to take Tyreek Hill here at number 2.
And I get that, but again, you got to separate. This is fantasy football and what they production
from real life football.
Don't go with your heart when you do fantasy.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is a volume-driven receiver. Name the other receiver opposite of Devontae Adams. I'll wait.
It's a great question. Great question.
So Tyreek Hill, I have number 3. The ageless guy has been doing it forever. Julio Jones, number 4. Number 5, I feel like I'm going to get a little crap from me here, buddy.
Oh, yeah. I got to hear this.
Chris Godwin.
At number 5. But I can understand because of the numbers he's producing. I can understand.
Number 5. Ahead of Mike Evans.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think in this offense with Brady, Chris Godwin is a bigger producer than Mike Evans is.
Brady loves a slot guy.
He does love a slot guy, and I think you're going to see Godwin utilized like an Edelman, like a Wes Welker back in the day. He's a slot guy, the intermediate guy. I see Godwin averaging 7 to 10 catches a game, 70 to 100 yards, minimal touchdowns, because touchdowns will go to Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, those kind of guys. But I think volume-wise, Chris Godwin's there. I have number 6, Kenny Galladay from Detroit. Again, volume guy. He has Marvin Jones, who can't stay healthy on the other side. And then the guy that I think is going to splash onto the scene this year, everybody knows him, but I think he's being a little underrated because of the team he's on, DeAndre Hopkins. People underestimate Kyler Murray and his throwing ability. I think now you got Kirk out there, you got Larry Fitzgerald, you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got a legit offense out there with Kenny Drake as well.
I got to see what kind of production with Kyler. I got to see. I can imagine them running the ball a little bit more, being a little bit more balanced offense compared to what they had last year, because they really tried to let him gunsling and it didn't work out. They had
a bad defense. I think that a lot of that has to do because of bad defense, and they were playing from behind quite a bit.
They were.
Number 8, I got Mike Evans. Yeah. I think Mike Evans, he's in the top 10 for me because of his touchdown volume. Yes. I think he's going to get 7 to 10 touchdowns this year. That averages, just short of 1 a game. He may even get closer to that 1 a game, depending on how the year goes for them here. And then rounding out the 9 and 10, I have a number 9. I have A.J. Brown from Tennessee. Nice. Again, name another guy that plays receiver for Tennessee outside of A.J. Brown.
I don't know.
Someone's got to catch play action passes from Derrick Henry getting a 9-man box. And I think that's A.J. Brown. And then I think you go to Dallas. And my first Dallas Cowboy here is Amari Cooper. Again, I think if anyone has the ability to fall out of this top 10 is Amari Cooper, because I think CeeDee Lamb is going to dominate.
Yeah. He looks good in that 88 football jersey, I'll tell you that.
Oh, he does. He does look good at it. For me, he's I know typically receivers, it's a good question. When's the last time a receiver's won Rookie of the Year?
It hasn't been since
normally
the last person I remember winning Rookie of the Year was Randy Moss. That's the last person I remember as a receiver winning Rookie of the Year. You know what? Wait a minute. Did Odell Beckham win it? I think Odell might have won it.
He might have.
I think that was what he did as one
catch. If the Cowboys finish with 10 wins or more, I'm gonna bet that CeeDee Lamb is probably in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
Hopefully he is, because he brings a lot to him. He brings a lot to him for Rookie of the Year.
And then rounding out the quarterbacks here, we're going to rapid fire this here, because again, quarterbacks outside the top 2, quarterbacks for me are people that I draft round 7, 8, 9, 10 down the road here. Yeah. And his name won't come up in my list, but I'm going to tell you where I got Brady at before I tell you the list. I have Brady as 11th because, again, 4 points. 4 points for a passing touchdown.
Yeah, I hear you.
Goes into effect.
I think that's disrespectful. I think he's in the top 10.
Well, here we go. Patrick Mahomes, I have him as 1.
Right.
Lamar Jackson 2, which those guys flop 1 or 2. Legit. I'm not upset.
Those are legit.
I have Russell Wilson 3.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson 4.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Now, from this point forward, it gets a little scrappy. Okay. I have Drew Brees 5, Aaron Rodgers 6. Okay. Everybody's favorite Prescott 7th.
Okay, go ahead.
Only because of his rushing ability.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Then I have Cam Newton.
Jesus Christ.
Right after that.
Really?
Okay. I also have Matt Ryan.
Okay.
And then rounding it out, I have your boy Kyler Murray at 10.
I that's where I think.
And I have Brady at 11.
I think I think that's wrong. And I'll give you my quick explanation why. I think with Big Ben coming back, Big Ben's gonna have a big year. I think Matt Stafford, who doesn't win football games, but for whatever reason throws for 5,000 yards a season, he should be up there as well. I think you take out Kyler. I think Tom Brady's going to gunsling like we've never seen him before because of all the weapons that this guy has at his arsenal. It's unfair is what it is. I think he should be moved up to number 9 at the very least. I think Dak comes down to 10, and you got to put in Big Ben and Matthew Stafford in there. Because I'm just going off production and numbers. Those guys are very, very high.
But you're using the past to predict the future here. And again, in fantasy football, you're rewarded for rushing quarterbacks. All these quarterbacks that I mentioned to you in the top 10 have a certain thing in common. Look at even Aaron Rodgers at his age, still runs around a little bit.
He does.
Right. Kyler Murray, when in trouble, he's going to take off. Dak Prescott's the same way. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson.
I can't believe I'm defending Tom Brady is what I'm doing on this show right now.
And I can't believe
you're the Bucs guy.
Yeah,
because I thought he was from what I checked on fantasy, he was projected like 291 or 2 something.
All right, Raul, I gotta break into the truth.
Okay.
I'm trying to get the listeners not to draft Tom Brady.
That's what it is. Now it comes out. Now I got it. Now I understand. That's my fault.
If I put
Shame
Tom
on me.
low and people take my advice, maybe we get into a certain round. I can take Tom Brady, Chris Godwin.
When we do our live draft, we're good. You're safe, is what you're saying.
Come on, man.
That's good
I
stuff.
told you this before the show. Before the show. We're going to set the listeners up here with my quarterback.
But I love your
rankings.
take on it because you're basically your rule number one is focus on value. That's basically
you have to. You have to.
Your rule number one.
It's
in
a value
football.
draft,
right? You have to, and that's why I love the way you approach it because again, a lot of people don't approach it that way, and that's why they get frustrated when they play it. Right? Me personally, rule number 2 would be take wide receivers early is what I would do. but whatever, you know what I mean? That's here nor there.
I'll give you a quick team I had a year ago.
Okay.
A year ago I had DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, and Michael Thomas.
Okay.
I lost.
He said I lost.
I lost. I did not win. And I used that philosophy because I was drafting like 9th. So all those top guys I mentioned were gone.
Wow.
So I said, forget this. We're going to draft every receiver from this point out.
Right.
My first 5 picks were all receivers. All of them. I was like, if they don't play for me, they don't play for nobody. Kind of mentality. I was trying to play keep away. And I drafted Michael Thomas first, came back around, picked up Hopkins in the 3rd round, grabbed Mike Evans. And I'm thinking, man, I got 3 of the top 5 receivers in the league on my team right now.
Right.
I came in 6th that year. Why? Here's a problem with receivers.
Right.
And here's where I debunk your idea of drafting receivers early.
Okay.
Running backs will get carries no matter what.
Okay.
Receivers can go blank. How many times have you seen a Michael Thomas go 2 catches for 10 yards? That's a stat line for a game.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you get DeAndre Hopkins that goes 1 for 9 because Deshaun Watson forgets he's on the field. Or, you're with Jameis and the Bucs and with all the weapons. Back to Tom Brady has all these weapons.
Yeah.
Mike Evans could have a 2 for 10 game. Godwin could blow up. Mike Evans can go 2 for 10. But now McCaffrey is going to touch the ball 25 times.
And I think
Derrick Henry.
Your boy Evans loses his mind when he sees that Gronk is catching 7. He's targeted 12 times.
Listen, Mike Evans has never been in the playoffs.
I hear you.
That man makes the playoffs. I don't think he cares what his stat line is.
He's gonna care. It's gonna happen. He was there before Gronk, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that you can say whatever you want. Egos go a long way in the NFL. And he's going to feel some type of way.
Especially receivers.
And I know receivers very well. Receivers are emotional creatures. Okay,
they're divas, boy.
They really are, man. They are supermodels and all kinds of stuff. Diva, all that stuff. So I love what you come with. Like I said, the rule number 1, focus on value. I think the tight ends we'll talk about next week or this Thursday. I apologize. This Thursday we could talk about tight ends, but I think you draft tight ends on the back end. Of your fantasy stuff, but I'm excited. So we'll see how it goes with fantasy football with fanstreamsports.com and then our own, man. I think it's gonna be great, man. So thank you for On the Clock Radio listeners to tuning in again, and big shout out to Kobe Bryant and his beautiful daughter Gigi, and God bless the family of the Bryants as they go through this tough time again in this time of year. And happy birthday, Kobe Bryant.
If you enjoyed today's show, go ahead and find us on social media by simply searching On the Clock Radio. Visit our website, otcsportstalk.com. Check us out on Facebook. Join the group, join the debate at OTC Sports Talk. Until next time, you're on the clock.